So I'm 18 years old and I walk into a bank and I stand online and I'm nervous, my palms are sweating, and the security guards are looking at me, giving me dirty looks. And I walk up to the teller and I hand her a note. I want to make a withdrawal. She asks me, how do I want it? I say, all 20s. And the teller hands me $20,000 in cash. And I'm wearing baggy pants and a hoodie, and I shove the money in my pockets and it's sticking out. And I walk outside of the bank and I give the security guard one last dirty look. And I feel like I just robbed the bank. So how did I make the money? I didn't rob the bank. I made the money using Wi-Fi. So at that point in my life, I was selling CDs. I was burning CDs, burning mixtapes, and then I was selling them online. And when I started, I was just selling them in my neighborhood. I was selling them to my friends, my family, people that I went to school with. And then I opened up an Amazon account and I opened up an eBay account. And I went from making $50 a day to $3,000 a day. And that happened because I was selling CDs, not only to the people in my town, I was selling to people from Europe, from Asia, from all around the country, California, you name it. People from all around the world were buying these mixtapes. And I did that by leveraging the power of the digital economy. I grew up in a small town in Jersey. The population was about 15,000 people back in 2005. But I was able to tap into not the 15,000 people in the town that I lived in. I was able to tap into the 4 billion people all around the world. That is the power of the digital economy. The power of the internet is unlimited. So we have a huge problem, right? COVID-19, the quarantines, the lockdown, and if you're not making money online right now, you're in big trouble. 2020 is going to be one of the most disruptive times in history. I mean, this is bigger than the Great Depression. This is bigger than 2008. This is bigger than anything we've ever seen. People have been locked in their homes throughout not only the country, throughout the whole world. And here in Puerto Rico, where I live, the average salary is only $20,000. The average household income is only $20,000 here in Puerto Rico. So why? Why is that? Well, if you look at a makeup of the jobs here, the most popular jobs, one of them is cashiers. Another one is secretaries, retail, custodial, cooks, chefs, teachers, registered nurses. Now, while all these are very, very, very important jobs, they're needed for our society to survive, they're all also jobs that rely on the local economy. And if we look at Puerto Rico, what's Puerto Rico's #1 export? It's not our music, even though our music is popular all around the world. It is not our culture or ideas. It is, in fact, our people. In fact, there are more Puerto Ricans that live in the United States and abroad than that live here on the island. And that number is actually increasing. So more Puerto Ricans are leaving the island. And why? They're leaving the island because they're looking for opportunities. So 5.8 million Puerto Ricans live in the United States in the mainland, as compared to 2.8 million that live here on the island. So that's almost double. And if I look at why that is, it's because look at the average income in the United States. The average income in the mainland is $63,000 as compared to the $20,000 that we spoke about earlier. So automatically, by you moving to the United States, you're going to get 3 times the income on average. You're going to get a raise of 3 times your income by moving to the United States. But there's a big problem. The cost of living in the United States is also much higher. So we move to the United States. We move to places like California, like New York, like Florida. And we go there looking for opportunity, but those are also the same places where you're most likely to live paycheck to paycheck. So you go and you're making more money, but you're simultaneously spending more money. So the big question is, what can we do about it? There's a lie, there's a misconception. They say that you have to be born with money to have money. But I love a quote from Bill Gates. He actually says, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, it is. And that's because in today's digital economy, it doesn't matter where you're born. You can be born in Puerto Rico, you can be born in Africa, you can be born in the Philippines, you can be born in Mexico, you can be born in Latin America, you can be born in Peru. You still have access to the same internet, the same opportunities. My ancestors, they had to migrate, they had to immigrate from Puerto Rico and Europe to come to the United States, to come looking for a better land. So look at, Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus got on a bunch of ships, came down here to Puerto Rico, right? Came down here to Puerto Rico looking for opportunities. And then decades later and centuries later, people from Puerto Rico are now going to New York, again, looking for opportunities. Now, if you're connected to the internet, you have the opportunities of the entire world at your fingertips, just like me when I was selling my CDs. So the 3 secrets to surviving in the new economy, the COVID, the quarantine economy. So number 1 is never stop learning. So you can go to college and get a good job, right? That's the narrative, the old way of thinking that we've been fed. But the new way of thinking is that the school system cannot teach you about money. The school system was designed to create factory workers. And rich people actually don't work for money. Entrepreneurs work for free, okay? Entrepreneurs work in exchange for the experience and the people that they get to become. So the new way of thinking is really online education. It's entrepreneurship. It's learning on the job. It's never stop learning. And education is now on demand. It's YouTube. It's literally like a Netflix of education, where YouTube has 1 million how-tos, 1 million tutorials, more information than Harvard could ever hope to have in their bookshelves is now available on YouTube. It's being created every day. And it's being created by doers. So education is now on demand. You don't have to leave your home anymore to learn and to thrive and to prosper. Online education, apps like Zoom, apps like Facebook Live and YouTube and podcasts. Number 2 is to surround yourself with greatness. Surround yourself with the people that you want to become. And, sometimes that's hard growing up in inner city or growing up in a lower income neighborhood. I grew up, a lot of my friends were gang members and getting into all sorts of trouble. But as you separate yourself from these circles of people, you start surrounding yourself with the right people, success leaves clues, and those things rub off. And if you look at all our great leaders, they all have coaches, they all have mentors. Michael Jordan had a coach. Bill Gates was mentored by Warren Buffett. Every single great leader that you look at, they have a coach, they have a mentor, they have someone that's helping them along the way. So find the right mentors. Look for them. Digital mentors that can come in the form of podcasts, that can come in the form of apps like the Modi app, like YouTube, like Instagram, like Audible. There are so many ways you can have an online mentor. It's not just face-to-face interactions anymore. That's why I'm really happy that Puerto Rico has embraced entrepreneurs from all around the world and investors to come down to Puerto Rico with Act 20 and Act 22 and all the other laws that they're putting in place. They want to bring talent. They want to bring new ideas, new ways of thinking, because there is a great quote from the former governor of Puerto Rico. He said, "We need to share in wealth, not poverty." So we want to learn from successful people, because success is more contagious than you can ever imagine. Number 3 is everyone is now a global business. Your personal brand, when people Google you, you are a business, you are a brand. So the old way of thinking is to be at the right time, at the right place. You have to be in the right rooms and X, Y, and Z. But the new way of thinking is to think global, not local. With this phone that has more technology than the mission to the moon. There's more technology in this phone than the mission to the moon. You can have access to every single great leader if your business is not on the internet, then your business is going to be out of business. So you need to be using this tool to connect with your customers, your clients, mentors, experts, business leaders. They're all on the other side of a tweet. They're all on the other side of an email. They're all on the other side of a message. And that's all thanks to the digital economy. So think global, not local. Internet access is the great equalizer. And lack of internet access creates poverty. And if you look statistically here in Puerto Rico, you'll see that. If we look at the areas that are most affected by poverty, they are also the areas that are most affected by either lack of internet access or really bad quality internet access. And that's why today, my new idea for TEDxCondado, my new idea to disrupt, rebuild, and innovate here in Puerto Rico is that every Puerto Rican resident deserves fast, free internet access, and that Wi-Fi should be a human right. And if you look at this, this has been done before. This isn't anything new. If you look in New York City, they installed super fast free Wi-Fi on every single corner, and even in the subways. And now it doesn't matter even if you're an immigrant. It doesn't matter if you come from another country. It doesn't matter if, it doesn't matter where you are. The internet does not discriminate. And you have the access to get job opportunities. It's actually impossible now to apply for a job if you don't have internet access. You have possibilities of creating businesses, of networking with other people, of getting access. So I think that Puerto Rico needs fast, free, public Wi-Fi. And this might sound like a radical idea, but if we look back, we didn't used to guarantee water. We didn't used to guarantee electricity. But now, if we told you that you were not going to have water and electricity, we would say that was inhumane. And I think the same way how we guarantee water and we guarantee electricity, I feel that Wi-Fi should be a human right. And I feel that lack of internet is just as inhumane. Because Wi-Fi creates money, it creates jobs, it creates opportunity, it creates education, and most importantly, Wi-Fi gives you a voice. And if we look at what happened recently right here in Puerto Rico with Ricky Martin and tons of other influencers in Puerto Rico came together and they removed the governor from office. And they did this all through social media, all through the power of coming together, all through the power of using Wi-Fi and using their voice online, their digital voice. And they created real change, real political change here on the island. And that's why I believe that Wi-Fi is a human right. Thank you.